Hey, nerdy sports fan here, and this is Monday Night Football postgame. So, Seattle just seems to be involved in all of my favorite games this season. My favorite Monday Night Football game, probably in my life, earlier this season when they beat the San Francisco 49ers, and now this gem. So, yeah, man, they just know how to win tight games. They're clutch, and that stems directly from Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. All of the it factor sort of things that people talk about Kirk Cousins not having, it is all Russell Wilson is. They had him mic'd up for this game, and you heard the leadership from that guy all over the field. He's touching on everybody, okay? He's talking to wide receivers, running backs, offensive linemen. He's talking to the defense. He's talking to the coaches. And he is just everybody's hype man. And it's genuine. He's making it personal, calling out their number, like, hey, you're one of the great ones. And yeah, I guess he's overhyping his dude Chris Carson there, calling him one of the great ones, but that's the kind of thing you do. All right, you're instilling confidence and getting your team with winning momentum. So first half was a little slower, a little slow. It ended up being 17-10 at the half. Russell Wilson got a pick six. A real fluky play, like he's trying to bat down a ball that was tipped at the line. He ends up batting it up, and Minnesota pick six. Easy score, really. End of the first half, Minnesota answering a touchdown that Seattle just scored. A field goal. They marched down the field for a field goal drive of their own, and they're doing what they need to do on the road, carrying a 7-point lead into halftime. Coming out of the half, Russell Wilson gathers the troops, and again, because he's mic'd up, you're hearing him tell everybody, hey, let's get a touchdown this drive. All right, hey, be aggressive and confident. He's instilling in his team what he needs from them. And they did exactly that. Touchdown. And, that quarter was all Seattle. A couple of turnovers from Minnesota. And we're not blaming this on Cousins by any means. He had one of his guys, fumble. He has a catch really just get torn away from his receiver on an interception. That's not his fault. But it ends up being owned by the Seahawks. They had, 14, 17 points that quarter? And a nice opening fourth quarter touchdown. And you think, holy crap, all the momentum's with Seattle. This is going to be a blowout. And then more turnovers, more momentum shifts. So Seattle, they sensing a momentum shift is possible after Minnesota scores, they fake a punt, make it, great play, stay on the field for only one more set of downs. Because the very next set of downs ended up being third down again, and Metcalf catches the ball, gets a first down, has it punched out. Vikings recover, march right down the field, and have a great touchdown play to Kyle Rudolph, who's just taller than everybody. And, Kirk Cousins just skied the ball over everybody else's head, made it so Rudolph was the only person physically capable of getting the ball. He was behind everybody else to boot. So, yeah, easy touchdown for Kyle Rudolph. It was close. It was so close. And then a momentum shift. They should be only down 3 at that point with a made extra point, but Bailey misses the extra point. They had all the momentum on their side. They scored a touchdown. They recovered a fumble, scored another touchdown. Only 3 points down now, after being 17 points down after a really rough third quarter. The missed extra point mattered a lot. They stopped Seattle. get the ball. 3.5 minutes on the clock, down by 4. Every quarterback dreams of that moment when they're young, where the game's on the line and they bring their team downfield and finish it. And Kirk Cousins didn't have it in him. Now, the coverages would absolutely be different. The play calling would be better if they had Cooks available, who went out with injury earlier in the game. If they had Thielen available, who's been hurt for a few weeks. Diggs wasn't full strength at the end of the game. He was hurt earlier in the game, just still playing. The injuries to the skill positions really mattered here. But that's not what the narrative is going to be. The narrative is just going to continue to be Kirk Cousins can't win when it matters. And it's because people have been tracking it statistically. You heard Nance. It's not Nance. I forget who the damn announcer was. Opposite of McFarland. But you heard the man say that Kirk Cousins' record when trailing in the fourth quarter is 1-27-1. Well, now 28. That's what's going to matter. He has to win in crunch time. He has to win a game that his team is trailing in the fourth quarter. The guy's got to go into hero mode and have it matter. Pull through with a win. He has shown throughout his career he can't. He will win you games. He is damn good. You're going to get a big lead and you are going to win because you have that big lead. But it's not big games that's the problem for him. It's big moments. It's fourth quarter. You're down. Your team needs you to bring them to a win. You're the only one that can do it. Folds. And it's little things. It's so little. It's not extending the play, but throwing the ball where it can be easily deflected. It's being a little off target. Overextending your receiver. Yeah, it's dependent on receivers to make plays too. I get it. But that fourth down play that they just missed, yeah, when the receiver's laying all the way out, fully extended, and he cannot get his hands on the ball, that's not the receiver's fault. There was a corner on his back. He's fully extended. The ball's out of reach. That's all Kirk. All Kirk. He has the ability to change the play at the line, get himself and his team in a more favorable position, and he's consistently not doing it. He's consistently not finding a way to win. That's why people bag on Cousins. Anyways, Seattle now leading their division because they are badasses on Monday Night Football when it matters, in crunch time, against good teams, big time games. Seattle's now leading their division. San Francisco, having been the best team in the league most of the year, all of a sudden losing to Seattle and Baltimore. Some tough-ass teams, I get it. But those losses now push a 10-2 team into 5th place in the NFC. That's big. That is big time. That means Seattle controls their own destiny now for home field advantage, at least until the last game. The Saints have the tiebreakers on them. So the Saints, home field advantage throughout if they can hold serve and win out. And they are damn capable of that. But yeah, the NFC is shaping up to be a real tight race. The Vikings still have the opportunity to win their division. They're hosting Green Bay later in the year. And winning that game would obviously give them a head-to-head, a bump up against Green Bay. I'm not sure how the rest of the tiebreakers work out for them, unfortunately, but they are a game behind now at 8-4 versus the Packers at 9-3. Winning that game would give them one more win in a head-to-head and an even record, assuming all other games are the same. So the NFC race gets real hairy. It's probably set. It's probably these teams. Everybody who's in for the NFC in the top 6 right now, those are the teams, okay? It's not like the AFC, where the wild card position really is still in doubt because of the AFC South. The divisions are sewn up for the most part. So the end of the year is just playoff seeding. Does Minnesota get the division? Does Seattle retain the division? Those are the big questions. And really, whatever's going on with the NFC East, it doesn't matter who wins that division, by the way. They're not going to win. The Eagles just choked on it against Miami. Cowboys just choked on it against Buffalo. So, yeah, they don't matter. All right? And neither one of them is doing damage in the playoffs against these other high-quality teams that are in the hunt right now. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be so fun to watch. I think the NFC has a lot going on for it right now. They're definitely top to bottom stronger in the playoffs. But Baltimore's something special. They really are. They are something special. Pick one of the top 6 NFC teams. Pick one. They're likely better than every team in the AFC outside of Baltimore. New England's been getting smacked around. And, Houston's up and down. People still question the Bills. That ticks me off a bit as a Bills fan. But, some of those questions are legitimate. We're going to find out about them as they play Baltimore and New England at the end of their season, and the Steelers. But yeah, the AFC's more vulnerable. The Chiefs are really flawed. They've got Mahomes. They got a great offense, but that defense is crap. They can't stop a running back worth a damn. So if they get a good team that has a strong pass defense and a great running game, I don't know, most NFC playoff teams, Baltimore for sure. You could put the Patriots in that. You could put the Bills in that. There's a lot of teams out there built exactly to stop what the Chiefs are doing and take advantage of the Chiefs' weaknesses. It's just a matter of not getting behind big to them. If you stay in the game late, you're going to dominate because a running game that's sustained against them is going to beat them in the fourth quarter. So things shaking out in the playoffs right now, very interesting. Very interesting. This has been a fantastic week for football. And we got the fantasy football playoffs starting next week for most leagues. I'm going to have a lot of advice for you going into this week. We're going to do a updated power ranking going into the playoffs. It's been a few weeks since I posted a power ranking. We are going to do a lot of fantasy football playoff advice. There's going to be an entirely separate segment in the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly for fantasy football advice. Sit 'em, start 'em, cut 'em, whatever you need. plus my usual preview of every single game. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Hit me up in the comments. I love talking football, obviously. I'll talk your ear off all week. Later, fellas.